Hello, everybody. This is Trisha.
This is Tessa.
And welcome to Meet Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
You can't see me. I'm just doing a jazz hand. I'm like, yes.
And I fucked that all up.
No, you didn't.
I did. It's like Meet Rebecca, but instead, Meet Crazy Ex-SFL / girlfriend / everything.
/ everything. This is the season
Meet Nola.
of awesome. Oh, yeah, and Nola's here. I love this season. Season 3 is when things really get kicked into overdrive. Maybe it was because they were almost canceled. Maybe it was because this was the plan the whole time. Who knows?
I think Rebecca is an SFL evil genius. I would be remiss. Wait, I'm not even going to use that word right now. I know how to use it, but this isn't. I would be.
Yeah,
I would be
fine.
Yeah, but I don't think I was going to use it correctly, and I don't want to. I would be shocked if this was not the plan. Yeah. I would be shocked if she didn't mean for the episode everything to happen the way that it was happening.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so perfect. It's like Fleabag.
Yeah.
Like you can't not know every step in order to create something like that.
Isn't that crazy that, I always hate the BBC model where you get 1 or 2 seasons, possibly 3, of a show with like such well-written characters, plots, themes that are so intertwined so seamlessly. And then I always get mad that it's not like the American version where you'll get 10 seasons of medium good. Well, usually like seasons 1, 2, and 3 are great. And then it falls off with a stark cliff. Mm-hmm. And then they bring it all home in like season 10. Mm-hmm. And I'm usually so mad about that. But I feel like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend took that UK BBC model and has excelled. And I was like, maybe my mind has changed.
I like it. I like the shorter couple seasons. The only thing I don't like is that I can't keep watching. Yeah. Right? So that's the part that I miss.
Yeah.
But the storytelling part, I mean, yes, we do 30 seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
Is it really?
No, it's not 30, but I mean, am I that off?
No, I'm like, they have to be close to season 20.
I mean, it's got to be the longest running or one of the longest running shows on TV.
I'm thinking The Simpsons, Grey's Anatomy.
And Shonda Rhimes, while a genius at writing herself out of corners, it's still...
Why are we doing this still?
I'm still... The big question throughout, after season 6, is why?
Yeah, and I'm like, haven't these characters learned anything from their trials and tribulations? Like, at this point, we're going day by day. This is every single day of Meredith's life for 20 some odd seasons.
Meredith shouldn't be alive.
No.
And no one has that many sisters come out of the woodwork or that many people die in their life.
Hopefully.
I mean, I'm sure there's someone, but like Shonda Rhimes can do it. She can churn stuff out, and it's an engine, and there's definitely a talent to that. But from the storytelling aspect, like I stopped watching Grey's Anatomy on a regular basis, probably at season 4, and then just pop in if I am battling insomnia and need to be able to be like, who are these people? Whatever, it's the same story, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then I can go to sleep.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. I have a really bad habit of watching, well, I'm just a millennial, and like if I can binge watch a season 1, I very rarely come back for like seasons 2, 3, and 4 because I feel like I've learned the whole story, or at least I've learned enough about the story to be able to surmise what the end of...
With a Grey's type show?
Yeah, I mean, like I watched the first season of How to Get Away with Murder, and I was like, I get it. I don't need to watch any more of this.
Oh my God, same here, because it's
like you can't change, because like once you realize at the end of season 1 what the story's engine is, I was like, well, you can play this game forever, but I know it. Like Game of Thrones to me was so all consuming because like the story engine left so much possibility.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like this is absolutely not a knock to Shonda because she's a fantastic storyteller. Yeah. But I'm like, these characters,
but they're different stories.
Yeah,
different
very
types
different
of stories. And if you've seen one of the shows, the engine is typically the same. At least there's the thread of the super strong, flawed woman who can't stop falling for the wrong guy, even though she's super powerful in every other piece of her life.
Especially in like a workplace setting where it's like, accept me into the group, and like, and then you get all the like subtypes in there, like the overachievers and, you know, the, you know, quote unquote outcast who's great at everything somehow.
What is that? Is someone cooking over there? It just stops. Not me. Or like Olivia Pope.
Yeah, like I loved Scandal for like the first 2 seasons. I was like, I'll even give it because her outfits are so great. I'll give you another season. But
the
like
white on white, and the way and the cream I'm just like, girl.
And I just love that imagery. That's where it first dawned on me of the imagery about where characters wearing all white are supposed to be looked at as innocent, and she was doing fucked up stuff, sleeping with the president, like you know, she's the fixer and she's not doing great stuff, but she's doing it for a quote unquote great reason. So she's still our heroine.
Revenge was like that too for me, where I was like, it gave me the Shonda Rhimes feels, although it wasn't, but it was the same sort of like asinine plot. That is just like, they set it up so you can basically throw any ingredient into it. And I like how you said that, the story engine. Yeah, you figure it out and then you can make it whatever you want. But Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Rebecca Bunch, it's still so tight. It's crazy. It's out there, but it all comes together. And in 4 seasons?
Yeah. It really like,
for all that mayhem?
For all that mayhem. And for me, it's just like how much, it's kind of a testament to how much outlandish behavior and all that stuff like we tolerate as, you know, viewers of media as normal actions for women to take, that I did not catch on until they literally reveal it that she has a mental health issue. I was like, this girl's crazy. She loves musicals. I love musicals. We'd get along. If it was a real world, me and Rebecca Bunch would be like 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
I'd be down for some shenanigans. I'd have to step away at some point. I'd be like, this is feeling unsafe.
Take a break.
You're doing some crazy stuff. Like, if I found out about all the stuff that Paula does, I'd be like, no, what? We can't be friends anymore, but I respect your hustle.
Wait, what does Paula do?
The GPS trackers.
Oh, well, I think that's just as crazy, though.
Well, yeah. Well, Rebecca by herself is one thing. And I'm like, oh, well, she's like well-meaning but misguided. Okay. But then you add a Paula, your codependent, who's just like willing to do anything to make your dreams happen. And I was like, well, this has become a problem.
Almost a little more dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, well, just because
she does
more
put a hit
subtle.
out on someone, so Rebecca.
Okay, yeah. But Rebecca's it's so, like, Rebecca will always get in her own way at the end of the day with it. Like, Paula, I feel like, may be able to do it and then slip into the shadows. And, like, get away with it. But, no, Rebecca is definitely dangerous. All right, so we're doing season 3.
Season 3.
How does this season start?
Oh, I loved it. We just pick up at the end, continuation of the last episode of the last season, where Rebecca Bunch is a jilted bride left at the altar by the ridiculous Josh Chan, which is just ridiculous. Josh Chan has decided to become a priest because Trent, my favorite character, Trent, gave him a file of all of Rebecca's top secret information in a file. And I was like, thank you.
Which is all the stuff she did in college, how she where did she set the dorm on fire?
She set her professor, who she was having an affair with, his office or apartment on fire.
It was basically...
Which she deserved. So it was on her side then. Everything
bad she had ever done, which is an interesting reason to become a priest. I just feel like that's a big jump. Like, why not just break it off?
I think that's Josh just avoiding his own stuff. I don't think it has as much to do with Rebecca's action, because he was already looking for the door. He just needed a reason to walk through it.
Yeah, and he's got Father Bruh. So who doesn't want to be a priest? So hot.
We need to, like, as Hollywood insiders now. We should just start deciding to make priests look more realistic. And I've never seen a priest that looks like that guy or a priest who looks like the guy from Fleabag.
No.
Because that would be a problem.
And who also has, it's not just that they look a certain way, it's that they have like a charisma that we could potentially be attracted to.
Which is rude. I'm here for the spirit, not your spirit.
I had a guy friend who dated a lady priest. She was a total babe, but she totally was down to hang and stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
No.
Cool.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I do not like it.
Because that's too much blending.
It's distracting.
It's too much blending
No.
of worlds.
No, I can't make out with you because then who am I making out with the face of God now? What is that?
Well, you can't not have people be priests because they're too attractive.
Yes, you can. That could be a rule. They just make up rules.
Actually, it does seem like
You're too pretty. I don't know.
These rules are fictional and based off of a book written long ago. So
It feels like we can make up rules.
if the Earth was created in 7 days,
That I don't dispute.
I think that we can make.
I have no qualms with the
Got
Earth's
it.
creation myth.
Okay, so that's not that's just doable.
Yeah.
just not.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
not having
No.
it.
I just need you to ugg them up a little bit, and it would be good.
Wait, so I thought you were saying you were happy that you want them to stop making priests like
I
this.
need them to stop making sexy priests. I need uggo priests where I can concentrate on the spirit, on the Lord, and the songs. I can't just stare at priests.
I would like more sexy priests.
Because then I'm sitting in my mind, and that's then I gotta go to confession, and that's time out of my day.
I want more sexy priests out there. I want more Father Bras because I'm not going to do anything, but I think it's kind of fun if they still have the charisma of a human being that has had sex in their life. There's something about priests that we think becomes sexless once they become priests.
To become sexless.
And then they embody it in the way that they act.
I want you to become the cloth. Like, I want to look at you and just see glowing cloth.
I love Maya. Maya her reaction with Father Brun. She's like, "You're so good looking." He's like, "Please don't." He's not as into it as Hot Priest from Fleabag.
Yeah.
Seems like he actually doesn't want.
Yeah, he's taken his commitment. Do male priests marry the Lord like nuns?
I think, in 12 years of Catholic school, with 12 years of Catholic school in my background, I don't know that. I assumed that, yes, they do.
You just have like a bromance ceremony?
I think they get married. I don't know what the ceremony is for either of them. I just assumed that when they take the vow, that's
a
the
marriage.
You think they're all having separate weddings?
I don't know. I've never been to a
The churches would be paying
priest
for
coming
that.
out party. I don't know.
I think it's the vow. I think it's the same. It's like a marriage vow.
Oh, so they're married.
Is what I'm thinking. I don't think they have dress. They're
Maybe
walking
not
down
legally,
the aisle.
but they're married. Cool. Because like some of the sex of nuns, SECTS, sex of nuns.
Yes. The sexy nuns.
Yes. Like, what's another word? Give me a synonym.
Yes, I know that group.
Yeah. But like they marry. They literally have a wedding ceremony.
They do.
A wedding like ceremony.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I always wondered if priests have the same thing. So
Well,
I feel like I asked a priest that once, and I feel like that didn't go well.
and he didn't answer?
I feel like he ignored my question. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was back in college. I was like, I feel like nobody answered that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Josh had a ceremony. We don't see it.
No, because he fails. He flunks out of of seminary.
God. So he leaves her at the altar. And, oh, yes, I forgot about this. And Rebecca decides to make a fake sex tape, as you do, with a Josh lookalike to ruin his reputation. So this is when Rebecca goes back to the dark side.
Yeah, she's got her dark hair and her white dress.
This is when we were seeing, like, in season 2, it looked like she could topple over at any moment mentally. Season 3 is when she dives
She breaks.
down into a mental abyss.
Oof.
It is a psychological abyss. It is frightening
I
and
loved it.
amazing
Yeah.
to watch. But
It is frightening, yeah. But mostly because everyone is on board. Like, everyone is like, well, she's just, so distraught over the loss of Josh Chan.
Yep.
And we are going to help her do whatever she wants to do in order to get over this. Which, in
Why are
a
they doing
normal
that? They're basically
situation...
enabling her like an alcoholic in the beginning. Maybe because it's so fun. I could imagine it's just like
I think
so
you're just sucked into the vortex, of something interesting happening.
People with a personality like Rebecca's can draw people in.
It's very
like that.
magnetic, because who doesn't want to be done with a scheme or a plot? You bring out your tactile neck and you just get it done. You get it done.
Oh my God, the knife. It just reminds me of in season 4 with the fighting.
Yeah.
The, like, real world fighting isn't the same as a fighting sequence or something, which we'll get into. But some of the guys' songs in season 4 were truly cracking.
So good.
Okay. So,
and
she wants to get back at Josh.
She wants to get back at Josh. Nathaniel's just like sniffing around, being his Nathaniel self. Nathaniel.
Yeah.
But then they do eventually partner up in order to take Josh down.
And this is when we realize that Nathaniel is psychotic.
Everyone has an issue on the show.
But he is willing to kill someone.
I just assume that comes with being part of the 1%.
You're right. Maybe we're not so far off base.
You're just like, I have $1 billion and a right to kill.
I can get away from murder.
Yeah. If you can buy the jail, then are you in prison?
But he wants to murder Josh's grandfather and then get his father deported. I mean, it's real rough.
That went dark. That went dark. He went real to the right.
Oh, and the musical sequences, like we talked about last time, they push the plot along. In this season, they're very dark. Mm-hmm. Everything is very film noir and sexy.
Cats all the time. Is that this season?
That's 4.
4. Just kidding.
But
the Cats ones are fantastic.
I've never seen it. I've always heard the joke that it's the worst ever.
I cannot believe they've remade Cats into like an animated monstrosity starring great actors, and I was like, no one is going to see this.
I've never seen it.
Literally no one.
It's everyone just about has had cats, right?
Everyone has had the option to see Cats since 1986, and if you haven't seen it yet, it's for good reason. It's because it's a shit musical full of cats.
I mean, truly, is it just about feral cats?
I have no idea. I refuse to see it.
Okay, because I hear it truly has no plot.
I think it's about like being like Top Cat. Oh, that would be a better musical. Top Cat.
Oh my God, the song that you're singing.
That's Top That from.
Okay, I was like, is reminiscent of something I know somewhere in my head.
Top That from Teen Witch.
Yeah, Teen Witch. Oh my God, Tessa.
Guys, go back to season or earlier in the season and watch Teen Witch again because it's fantastic and it holds up. It holds up.
I thought of you because Zach and I are planning our honeymoon. Well, Zach's planning the honeymoon trip.
And you thought of me to come with you? Oh my God.
Yeah. Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Pack your bags. I'm actually not going to tell you the date, so you just have to be ready.
Oh, no.
I'll give you a month.
What?
Like, I'll tell you the month.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Zach's planning it, and we're going to Alaska.
Wow.
And we want to stay in national forests.
Dude, that's cool.
It's going to be awesome.
Dude, my friends, Jerry and Andrea are going to Montana for their honeymoon in March. And I'm like, just like, everyone's doing snowy ski stuff.
I don't need like a beach.
Go to
I
Ketchikan.
like landscape.
Ketchikan, Alaska.
What's that?
It's a city. It's a small, it's more urban than like other places, but like there's more. Yeah. Ketchikan, Alaska. What's up?
Have you been there?
I've never been there, but I used to work for a law firm that built most of the city, or an architecture firm.
I was like, the law firm built the city.
They're architects.
We built this city on
Rockin'
law firms.
Rockin' law firms.
And law.
But yeah, shout out to NAC Architecture. They built like a lot of like the structures in Ketchikan, and I've always wanted to go there and see it.
Look at this.
In real life.
I don't know if that's how you spell it, but
I think it's with a K, but
probably. Yep.
Yeah, but it's beautiful, and it's like in the mountains, and it's like, have you seen the Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock rom-com?
Yes.
That's Ketchikan.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, we are. I'm gonna bring that up. I'm gonna see if that's on the itinerary. Zach, this is his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
He planned the entire trip to Belize when we went there. He loves doing it. Sorry, I'm gonna move this here so we can see it. Make sure that it's still going because it turns off.
Oh yeah.
And this he worked with like a contractor and a travel agent person to kind of see, he had
to take chartered flights everywhere.
Well, no, we're taking a train. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's not even the best part. I haven't even gotten
the train is the best part. No. I'm mad now.
Yeah, like a 4-hour train ride
to Canada,
but above the tree line, kind of thing, like real crazy. But there's a town that we're going to, this little quirky village.
If it's covered in snow, Trisha, I might stab you.
There's a town that we're going to, a little quirky village, and the folklore is, and I have to look into the actual historical situation, is that they had a cat for a mayor for like decades. How hilarious is that?
That makes me so mad.
I was like, that's a dream. He's like, what are we going to do in this village? And then I pull it up. I'm like, talk to the locals. What the fuck do you think? Go to the local bar and see what the fuck is going on here.
What happened to the cat mayor? Was he ousted? Was he?
You know what? I didn't get any further. It just said that there was a mayor. And you know how like really small, just quirky places, and who knows if they actually govern themselves, but like somehow they get away because they might just be part, like that little village might be part of a larger county of a, like I don't know. I'm interested to see how this went down.
I'm interested to everyone who had to report to that cat. Who was the deputy mayor? Who is the treasurer? Are they all the cat?
Right. I'm curious about the governance, how this actually occurred.
How does he communicate?
How they were able to, on the books, because you can do weird shit like that sometimes in smaller governments.
It makes me so mad still. I'm still very angry.
Because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of like
Can
Iceland.
they see Russia from where they are?
I'll ask the cat if he's still alive. They, like in Iceland, they believed in elves, and they had...
That's sound.
But they had elf ambassadors. Like people that worked for the country of Iceland.
Yeah.
That worked alongside the elves.
That makes sense to me.
Perfect job for me. Why didn't I have that? I'm a good liaison.
I feel like that could have been real because like we just call things different names now, and so I feel like that could have been real at some point. I don't know if they're real now.
As real, but I mean, a cat is a physical reality.
That's true.
An elf may or may not be a physical reality. It could be like Rebecca Bunch in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend when she goes off. She would be a perfect ambassador, when she goes off and she goes into her musical numbers. She could be a real ambassador. Like maybe she's doing that. Maybe she's actually working a job during those.
Maybe
does
like
any
when
of this
people go
make
on
sense?
those DMT trips and they come back and they have they talk about having had a whole nother life, and then they just come back to their own body because they're in another dimension or something. Yeah, that could be the same thing.
Dreams.
Yeah, and isn't that the whole point of getting high is to reach those other dimensions and stuff?
Yes.
And isn't that the point of meditation and all that self-care nonsense is to be able to do those things without being high? So maybe Rebecca Bunch is just next level meditating.
I couldn't agree more. I do think
Guys, I think we solved it.
Crack the case. No, psychologists, move over.
Yeah, I was like, well, now Scientology's making sense because if I could do that by myself, why do I need Diane?
I think, Tom Bob. Why do you charge me so?
Yeah. I feel like the knowledge was always within me, and
it was.
I just needed help.
And why are you there
removing
to
the theons?
Get those, get those things off of me. Those little aliens
were holding me back.
That are literally attached to my body.
Yeah,
preventing me
from ascending.
I 100% agree. I think we all want to be somewhere else because day-to-day life can be tedious, boring, sad, and depressing. It truly can. And the point of all that stuff is to get into another dimension.
I think
so like speaking, I've tried pot once and
just the once. Did it take? Did you inhale?
Yeah, during my heyday with the devil's lettuce, I was 100%. I don't care what people are saying. Oh, I don't like what they don't smoke pot. They smoke it for the taste. Like people who say they drink for the taste. Fuck you.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
To an extent, everybody likes to be elsewhere.
Exactly.
And that's what weed did for me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I like to treat like sommeliers like potheads. I feel like more people should. And just be like, just give them side eye and like snide looks and comments and be like, yeah, tannins.
I know. Fuck you.
Right?
That's like
You're fucking button down. Get out of here.
We're gonna get some mean tweets or something.
Fucking tweet me. It's the same thing.
But it's
if
like
I have to listen to like people be like, oh my god, the fucking DMT and like what is it, sativa and blah 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 and like blah blah. My whole life is tie dye. It's the same thing as listening to a dumb fuck talk about wine too much. Drink it.
Agreed. Quit hiding your alcoholism behind being a sommelier. I would.
Did you have a fancier word?
I judge your alcoholism less.
Yeah.
Than I do for you trying to act like a fancy alcoholic. Just tell me.
Just tell me.
Because
white
frankly,
wine? That's what we're doing?
If
white
you're
wine.
if you're open, cool.
Yeah.
Live your life. I'm pro addiction in the sense that is someone at some point loving something as much as Robert Downey Jr. loves acting. It does take a turn. It can get dark.
It can get dark.
But if you can have that kind of love at some point in your life,
you just know
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, you know you're capable of it.
You're capable of true obsession. To all those people out there. Yeah. Oh, this is what I was going to say.
Unless you're a sommelier.
Yeah, no sommeliers. All hippies. I also kind of, this one's a little rough, but sometimes, didn't mean to do that.
That was the bell. You can fight now.
Sometimes I wonder if, sometimes certain nutritionists are hiding eating disorders.
Oh, 100%. Like literally everyone on YouTube. They're just anorexic.
I know that it's an important job and I get it, but there's a lot of people who are doing it sort of the influencer way, and I feel like that's an easy way to be like, oh no, that's the reason why I look like this, and I can hide my unhealthy habits with some crazy, and I'm talking the crazy diets. What's that new one?
I want to amend my previous statement. Not everyone on YouTube is this way, but I do feel, especially in like the vegan communities, it is especially prevalent there because you're already very thin and then eating a very specialized diet with if you're not giving like nutritional information also. I find this one.
Do you think all vegans are anorexics? Are you making that claim for the court?
I am not.
Is that your statement?
Can be. I think you can be an extremely healthy vegan, but I don't see that in a lot of YouTubers who are vegan. They're just eating vegan food and not really accepting like the nutrition that has to go alongside
you need to bring
that type of diet. Yeah. You need to be talking about macros and proteins and how much your specific body needs. And then maybe giving advice, since you're putting this out there, on what other bodies should target and goals, and like, because you can't just eat carbs and call yourself vegan. You can just eat Oreos and call yourself vegan. And
you could.
Yeah.
I
think vegan is just the easiest one to pick on. So I think there is that. But
well, and I mean, I had a roommate in college who was a vegan and had an eating disorder. And in that particular situation, it seemed she was open about both things. And it seemed to be, kind of connected.
Yeah. Well, it's just not the easier, but it's the acceptable way to talk about having a specialized diet or a restrictive diet, which is its own issue.
Yeah, I know. And I'm, a bit of a hypocrite here in the sense, not that I have an eating disorder, but I have a restrictive diet, just due to like inflammation and just kind of pain that can come along with anxiety. I don't really know what it is, but certain foods do make me uncomfortable. And the job I'm in right now, which I will not say what I do, is the first job I've had where I actually just work through lunch, not eat lunch while working. Like, just, I'm so busy, I just go through lunch, and then it's 2:30 p.m. and then I'm like, fuck it, I'll wait till I go home. And that happens like 4 days a week.
No, that's my job always. I just eat lunch at 3 sometimes, or I have to.
But
eat
I just
something.
I just won't eat then.
What?
There's
Grubhub, girl, Postmates.
I should maybe start ordering or something to it, because truly I'm
Just
like,
have a standing order.
I'm like, if I stop like that, it's not on purpose. I had never skipped lunch in any job of mine. And I had a really sweet coworker come and bring me like a McDonald's, or no, like an egg mix something, because she's like, you're not eating. She's not eating. I'm like, I'm truly not doing this on
Oh my
purpose.
God, yeah. I have cereal at my desk for moments like this now, because it was happening very frequently.
Man.
And yeah, and I was like, well, Honey Nut Cheerios are going to get me through this day, because I don't want to take an hour
Right.
to...
It's walking there, it's da-da-da, and it's just, it's really silly.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to get cereal for your desk.
That's a good idea.
And because almond milk keeps forever in the shared refrigerator. So that's a pro tip for you guys.
Okay, because I used to just have like almonds and raisins, but maybe I just need to get a mini fridge. That's what someone said too. That might be the best idea. Or maybe, I don't know, learn to take a fucking break and realize that at the end of the day, it's still going to go on even if you do. But
Exactly.
you get that feeling that you can't.
Yeah. And mine is like, oh, I'll just go in 10 minutes. Like, just give me 10 minutes and I'll finish this, and then they'll bring me this, and then I'll be done, and then I can like actually go to my lunch without like just thinking I should be at my desk.
Yeah.
That's me usually. I'm like, and then that happened to me on Friday, and I was like, well, luckily I have peanut butter kashi. This episode is brought to you by Peanut Butter Crunch Kashi. Delicious.
Kashi. Kashi for the vegan.
Oh yeah.
I actually got a request. I was in a training for work and then received notification that I was to be in a meeting in 10 minutes. That was the first time I had actually, and it was a required training. I was like, okay.
What?
I was like, I mean, I get the like, these are both priorities, get it done however you need to, and then you're like, this is impossible, but I'll figure it out. But that was the first time that I realized I had to physically be in two places at the same time. And I was like, I don't think I can do that. Like, I don't think I can do that.
No.
That's when it really hit me. I'm like, that's it. Okay. Both. Yeah. So I went to the other one and left the training for an hour and, just did what I had to do. But it was kind of like, okay, we're gonna figure out some expectation. Because if this is my performance based on this?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why I'm always asking. I'm always assuming that like when people mark things urgent for me, I'm like, we'll see. That's my general affect, like, we'll see.
We'll see how urgent this shit is.
Yeah, I was like, you emailed it to me?
Oh,
That ain't
yeah.
urgent.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely have a triage
if
with emails.
Yeah, I'm like, if no one is yelling about it, it's not urgent.
Yeah. And do you ever notice that, I don't want to give all my tricks away, but if you email back very, very quickly, typically, if it's not just a one and done type of thing, emails beget emails, questions beget questions. You end up falling more into it. So if I determine something isn't urgent with the resources that I have, I won't answer right away to prevent just the cycle of the It's just something I learned while I was federal.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like not doing the work, but it's like, okay, based on this okay. Because if you, it just, emails beget emails. They just do.
That's true.
Texts beget texts.
I personally hate when people send me an email and then come to my desk. Did you not just send me an email about this? And obviously I'm doing something that may or may not be what you just asked me, but assume that I'm doing my own work. And why are you here? I don't do small talk. I think I'm trying to get that message across in my office is like, that's not me. I'm not the one who wants to talk about your children.
Everyone, my friend and I went over like months ago, just office politics, the shit that we hate. And that is one I brought up is email. You see it pop up. You haven't read it yet. Hear the footsteps.
Yeah.
Did you get the email I sent? And I'm like,
that's how emails work.
It just happened. I could be doing any number of things. I could be caught in a thought.
Yeah.
I mean, why? I know if you want it in writing, I get that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, then send a read receipt.
Send a read receipt, or then just allow the writing to stand as the writing. Ask me in a couple of hours if I received the email.
Give me a chance to miss it.
I get it. But you have not given me a chance to not receive it.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here looking at the email that just got sent pop up and hearing you walk over. That would happen all the time in my previous job. And I was just like, what?
One of these actions was unnecessary. Either you didn't need to send this in an email or you didn't need to come over here, because that's how emails work. Yeah.
And how about the move, if someone calls you out or says you don't do anything, I keep all of my sent emails for this purpose. In my former life, someone would say, oh, I didn't receive this, blah, 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 blah. And then I would just I would copy the email, copy the read receipt, be like, as discussed, see attached, bam. What you saying?
That's why I prefer everything to be done via email. And I was like, so that we have a history of this conversation. You coming over and telling me something in person is really dependent on my memory.
Which, as we
to get
know,
shit done. Like, which, for things,
I think Rebecca would agree with us and hate that, but also do it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because that's just Rebecca. But seriously...
But I don't think I would mind if Rebecca...
I
don't think I'd mind if Rebecca sending me an email, because I feel like I feel like the conversation wouldn't be about the email she sent. She would just be coming over to have a conversation, and I'd be like, well, this is distracting, but at least it's not. Or a song that she'd invite me to.
Yeah, you're right.
Should be nice.
And
people should invite me to sing with them. That's rude that they don't. And you guys don't. I'm talking to you guys.
Okay. Yeah, we are. We are talking to you guys.
Yeah.
So Rebecca...
It's like caroling. It's Christmas time, and like no one's invited me, and it's like weird and rude, but whatever. I have my own life.
We could do carols. Let's do them in the neighborhood.
We should. I love caroling.
I love it. What would be your song?
I don't know. I feel like there's one where they're supposed to give you something at the end of the carol. Like trick-or-treating, but for Christmas. What am I thinking?
Presents?
No. It's like a food. Hillary!
Yeah?
What's the song where they give you food at the end of caroling? What is that song? You sing it and then it's like trick-or-treating.
Ask me again, what is it?
There's like a song where they give you food at the end of the song, the caroling song.
Like Christmas caroling?
Yeah. It's like there's a food in it.
Oh, a partridge in a pear tree.
No.
Partridge in a pear tree.
I like that song though.
But are they giving you the pear
It's
tree?
like some sort of pudding.
Girl, I wish I
something
could
about
help you.
figgy pudding.
Oof.
And they're supposed to give it to you.
Like so far from ringing a bell. My apologies. So back at it.
So we talked about Rebecca Bunch. What's going on with her at the beginning of season 3?
She's just she's wilding out and in a darker way.
I loved it. I love when she's staying at like the Hotel West Corvina. I was like, so dramatic. So dramatic.
Oh my God. She gets in it. She goes down.
She does.
And I like the full embracing of it. It's just...
And her plot when she spins around in that stupid chair. I was like, oh, I've always wanted to do that.
She wants to end Josh. Mm-hmm. And she wants to ruin his reputation so that he can't ruin hers. So people won't believe. She knows that he has that information on her.
Yeah, but nobody else knows that's why she's saying Josh chose to become a priest.
But did Trent give her, so she knows that Trent gave Josh the information. Okay.
Yeah. Trent. Oh, he's my favorite character.
Oh my
God.
God.
I love him.
I mean, he's fantastic. He just truly is just picked up off of Craigslist.
Yes.
And just becomes a full-fledged
Yes, I love
part
it.
of this.
And I love the juxtaposition of Trent's character to Rebecca's character because they are the same person.
I know.
Only it's so much creepier when Trent does it instead of like the cute little Rebecca Bunch. And I'm like, but you're doing the same
She's
thing.
so whimsical and smiles, and his turtleneck, it's too much.
Tactile neck.
Is that what he called it?
No, that's what I call it.
I like that. Tactile neck?
Tactile neck.
I like that. Oh God. So what we noticed in this season also, and we brought it up in our last episode with Dr. Laura Retson. Dr. Laura Retson. Shout out. You are amazing.
Yay.
The titles. This is the brilliance of Rachel Bloom. The titles of this show. So the first 2 seasons, the titles of each of the episodes, everything has to do with Josh. Everything's in exclamation points. Everything's happy. In season 3, there's still some Josh shit, but they start to get
They're
a
all
little
statements.
crazier. They're all statements because she's very
adamant that she's right and everyone else is wrong, and she's getting her revenge.
And this is where she's
justice.
Splitting, right? Because this is where someone hates someone and then loves someone.
You're all good and all bad.
All good and all bad. And as we know, we learn that this season, Rebecca has borderline personality.
Yes.
So these titles are so incredible. Everything has to do with Josh. I never want to see Josh again. Josh is irrelevant. Getting over Josh. And then we'll get to the point where then she switches, and then Nathaniel becomes Nathaniel exclamation point. But yeah, she goes downhill. It's a trigger, right?
Yeah.
An abandonment type of trigger. We learn more about her background. She goes and visits her mom. Her mom drugs her.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
That made me so sad. Those episodes were so good and so sad because I could see the pathology with her and her mom. And I don't think her mom is a bad person. Her mom just... It just seemed like...
I think in a hard time in her life, she wanted to make something easier, and I think she took the wrong route of making things, quote-unquote, easier.
With Rebecca. What was hard in her life at that time?
I feel like she's like... Isn't that what, like, the beginning when she's like... She's just gotten divorced from Rebecca's dad, or after he leaves her.
Oh. I thought you meant when she drugged her, when she went back as an adult. Okay.
Oh, sorry. We're talking about 2 different times.
No,
but
yeah.
But still, she is making her own life a little easier because if Rebecca's quote unquote level headed and the medication is doing what it's supposed to do, then she should be, I don't know. I want to say more pliable, but I know that that's bad terminology, but just accept it for now.
It's true because she saw... So I agree. I think whatever was going on felt unmanageable for the mother. And so she painted the story that the dad was all bad. And the reason, and of course he left and not great. But there's always 2 people, and you realize that more as an adult, that especially in a relationship, there's 2 people and both people contribute. It's rare and even if one of them is just being complicit in the other person's horrific actions, that's also contributing. But in this case, it seemed like Rebecca's mom needed an ally and wanted Rebecca to think that the dad was the devil. But it's so sad because while Rebecca probably had a predisposition towards mental health issues, that type of story, giving that to a child, you never know what impact it's going to have on them. And
because they always internalize it. I feel like everyone internalizes a narrative like that because it involves you, and there's no separation between like you, the individual, and your parents. We're all a unit. We're a team, and if you're against one, then you're against both of us.
And you're the cause. So she's the cause of him leaving. So she thinks that she is the reason for everything always going wrong. And then she is constantly seeking the attention and approval of men. And it's almost like textbook, but it's just so fascinating with patterns like that, is because from the outside you can see how obvious it is, but when it's ingrained in you and part of your narrative, the way we operate is so instinctive. It's so like simple almost, and it's crazy and so complicated at the same time.
It's like we're all trying to get back to zero. And we just, the path to zero, that like grounded, that grounded point where everything is okay. And I'm like,
which we never had, which never exists, because at the end of the day, everything's impermanent. There will never be a time where everything will be okay. I think it has to be a time where I'm okay, whatever happens. Right? But we all search for something that doesn't exist. And then we die. And it's over. So
I think we're all trying to quote unquote have it all. And I'm like, I've always had such a problem with that as a statement, because I don't know what it means. What is all?
No one knows what it means.
And I always assume that some people do because they say it. And I'm like, oh, I have it all.
But to one person, it could be like a house, a husband, kids, a job.
Yeah. But then you're like depressed.
Yeah. Because you're never happy when you have it all. Hence all celebrity, like not all, but lots of celebrities are people who have a lot of money, like having the darkest of lives. The money isn't what does it.
Yeah.
And the fame isn't what does it. And how sad is that when you realize that?
Yeah.
When you get there, claw. Dax Shepard talks about that all the time in his podcast. And it's kind of like, then you're there. You have this thing that you thought meant this thing and would do this thing for you. And you don't.
And it doesn't.
It's over.
And you got to start over, which is the hardest part.
So her mom sees that she was Googling how to commit suicide or something. And is like, uh-oh. Ooh. And then Rebecca does. Rebecca does attempt suicide. Very, very sad.
Yeah.
In an airplane. It kind of seems like, I don't want to say she wasn't attempting to commit suicide, but it seemed so impulsive. Like it was almost impulsively done. Like I don't think she would have minded had she died in that mental state.
Right.
But it was also not well thought out, not planned, but I also don't think it was for attention. But I think that it was like in this middle line where she's like, I just want this to stop.
Yeah. I think that's something very characteristic of people with BPD is that I feel like they have the highest suicide rate. I could be incorrect, so don't come for me.
I think you're right. Maybe because it's impulsive.
Yeah. And I also think that most people, when they try to commit suicide, don't think it's going to work. Otherwise, you would have taken more direct means of the suicide, or are hoping it doesn't work. Something is like, like your fight or flight, basic survival instinct kicks in even at the last minute, and just because there are permanent ways to take your life, and that's not the methods that and it's also on TV. So some things that she can't try. But I love that the show went there. They really, really explore the diagnosis of BPD and then other mental health issues, the codependency that you see in Paula. I'm like, what's going on there? And I love the storyline when she and her husband cheats on her in season 2. And the story of them like reestablishing the foundation of their relationship and her being mistrustful of him. I really like that storyline also. Yeah, it's good. They're a good couple. On this. Yeah, and in season 4 you get their whole family, which is really interesting to see. The 2 sons who like pop in and out of the series every now and again. Who basically seem like they're just unattended to. Yeah. And they seem a little feral. What? They seem a little feral. And it's sad because I think that's such a common story where you have a character or a person who has codependent tendencies, and then they perpetuate the situation because it seems like Paula takes on the responsibility for almost everything, like internalizes it. Yeah, especially at the office too, for White Feather. Work. And at home. And so then people do less because you're doing it. But then you're not doing the more important stuff, the stuff that will actually
keep the relationships going, like the attention to the kids or having some fun with your husband. And it's because you don't have time, and you truly don't have time or energy because you're doing all the other stuff. And it's just, but you're like, if I don't do it, it won't get done.
Right.
I can relate in terms of just those kinds of tendencies. I can internalize responsibility that's not mine. And then you do have less to give. And then it ends up not helping anyone.
Right.
So it was so interesting to see it play out, because I think it's common.
Oh, yeah. I think especially with like women, and especially I think I really like Paula's character, because for me, she kind of represents like, I think her relationship with Rebecca at the beginning represented some regret and maybe even some latent postpartum as like the road not taken. Paula could have been Rebecca Bunch. They're very similar. These weird adventures, and if she didn't have the kids. Similar? Oh, yeah.
Wow.
She just jumps on board so quickly. I feel like it's the road not taken. Yeah, Rebecca represents the road not taken, because she was supposed to go to law school, and then she gets pregnant with her first child.
You're right.
And she marries the guy, and she like kind of settles into kind of a humdrum in her what seems to be a humdrum existence. No shade to people who that's your life. I mean, good on you.
They do end up having the most stable relationship, her and her husband.
They do,
out of everyone. But you're right. They are similar.
Yeah. Ugh. Which I think is like so interesting, that relationship with Paula. And then you get the, what is Mustache's name again? Daryl and White Josh, who are kind of butting heads in terms of like, let's define the relationship and define the future, and finding out that they want different things, though they love each other. And I was like, that's an awesome... complex gay relationship that I really appreciated.
I did too.
I was like, thank you for having some complexity and some depth to these characters. That's not so superficial, just like, we're gay, we now have a baby, and like, now we're moving on. We're skipping all the life stuff.
We have relationship issues.
Yeah.
Like, we are exploring these issues because guess what? They are the same,
Exactly.
just like they are in every other fucking relationship.
Exactly.
Like, it's still a person. I know, and we don't see it on TV, and especially when it was about kids.
Yeah, and marriage and the institution. Because I love what White Josh is like. I like that he stood firm in that he does not want to be married.
But you also mentioned, I must say, in the last podcast, that you thought his unrelenting or like not willing, his uncompromising state turned you off. Did it?
It does.
Okay.
Well, if it was my relationship, I'd be like, why aren't we? If it was me, I would be on the side of Daryl to be like, if it means nothing to you, why can't we just do it?
Because it means something.
Because it means something to me. But also, as a person, I'm like, I admire people who are firm in what they believe and like unflinching, because it doesn't not mean something to him, which I think maybe it was my misunderstanding. It doesn't not mean something to him. He does not like the institution of marriage, which is what I thought he was saying the first time. It's like, I just don't believe in marriage. Why does anyone get married? And it comes out, I think, in season 4 is, I don't believe in marriage. I don't believe that this ceremony, this paperwork means anything. And I'm like, that's a harder pill to swallow also.
Because it's tougher to negotiate that.
Yeah.
And actually, isn't that almost always the truth? Because if it really doesn't mean something to someone, they'll typically just, compromise and fold.
Yeah.
But if it's something where it's like, nah, like, why do we have to do that? It actually means just as much to them as it does the other person.
Yeah, like it's not indifference, it's a stance. And I'm like, I wasn't getting that in season 2. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, if you truly don't care, then like, it's like, what restaurant do you want to eat at? Oh, I don't care. But then I throw things out and you say no. And I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you in your face.
Huge fucking pet peeve.
Just choose
huge
something.
Pet peeve. Because I'm like, I will make the decision, but I can't get no's for a half hour to an hour if you're saying that you don't care, it's basically you just wanted me to look it up and then do the work. Well, you can just be like, no, 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 no. And I'm like,
yeah, which is how I think I'm on Team Daryl in the beginning. And I'm like, well, you're just saying no to be difficult and like, you know.
Oh my God. That's so funny. What else do we have in this? Okay. Well, you know, what's really cool is when after her suicide attempt, everyone rallies around her. I mean, people are like, no matter what she's done, I mean, she was going to do disastrous things to Josh, and then everyone rallies around her and is so supportive, and they're just like, I mean, I think in a lot of situations, people would be like, fuck you. I don't think it's right, but...
I can't speak to that. I think like if someone in my life tried to commit suicide, I think that I would be, you know, circle the wagons more than trying to keep score. Like, oh, well, you did blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I didn't know that it was to this level for you. So I would kind of I expected that reaction from, even if they were mad.
See, yeah, I know how I would react, and I would be there for the person, but I guess maybe what I'm trying to say is I'm surprised how everyone embraced the BPD portion of it and like was there. It was an excellent group of friends, and a lot of them didn't even like each other. They were all just there for Rebecca, and I just thought that like embracing that and not being judgmental at all. I thought it was awesome.
Without the diagnosis, they wouldn't have embraced her the way that they did, because that's a reason why she's doing A, B, and C. To leave it abstract like that, I think that you'd have to question yourself and like why you're pursuing this relationship still with someone who's like so obviously in a volatile emotional state. But BPD is something I can look up. BPD, I can explain away BPD. I can support someone in their diagnosis with BPD or anything, but like without it, you're just a mean, uncaring, manipulative person. Whereas it doesn't engage any emotions to just be like, you're all of those things.
She thinks people are all good and all bad, and Rebecca at times is all good and all bad. Like when she does those splits, and it would be so interesting and kind of, you know, it would take a lot of work to be with Rebecca romantically, because you would have to determine whether her actions, because a lot of them were interactional and based on the relationship in front of her. So what actions were part of her disorder and what actions weren't.
Actions are part of her disorder.
Well, we see that as she, like, in season 4 especially, it's just like, woo, like, bouncing around and stuff. But then how do you untangle the feelings part? Like, because it seems like Rebecca does have the ability to have strong feelings on both sides of the spectrum for multiple people at the same time, whereas other people can't necessarily do that. So I just kind of figuring out where you fit. I think it would be kind of like a puzzle. I'm not saying don't do it. Like, obviously, you know, if you love someone, be with that person, but it would just be kind of fascinating. And I just wouldn't know where I stood.
Yeah, I think the challenge of maybe being with someone in BPD is to not be entangled.
Well, I was going to say is to,
Well, I wanted to say to love from the periphery, but I'm like, that's not being in like true relationship.
Exactly.
But it would be to not entangle yourself in those in the volatility of their emotions.
Yeah.
To be more resolute. Like, I could see Rebecca being with White Josh. To be like, this is how I feel about you.
Yeah.
And I know this is how I feel about you, which is kind of what you get from Nathan. Kind of.
Yeah.
But Nathan has his own issues. And to, like, you know, it's like,
you need someone who's very comfortable in what their own feelings are.
Right. And to be two steps. Like, I like the analogy someone gave about relationships in another podcast I was listening to. And she was saying that, like, in order to be in a relationship, like, sometimes one person has to be, like, if you're dancing, say you're, like, ballroom dancing, you would have your partner who's thinking two steps ahead so that the other person can just dance. And you know that if you're in a relationship with someone like a Rebecca Bunch, she is just going to dance. So you have to be okay with being that straight person who's thinking 2 steps ahead. And you can't resent her for being that person, which I think is the hard part, because she's going to do fucked up shit. A lot, probably.
But it's part of the dance.
It's part of the dance.
And you're comfortable where you guys are, what you have.
Right.
And that might switch with which partner is
in a different, I don't think in a BPD,
no, I don't think
non-diagnosed person, that dynamic is not going to change. But in other relationships, I think dancing. What?
She's going to remain dancing.
She's going to remain dancing, yeah. I don't see that changing.
Oh my gosh.
Which becomes interesting when you introduce like other factors, like if they have kids, if they, things like that.
And everyone brings some sort of baggage and work into the relationship, but you definitely would need someone with like a secure attachment, kind of. And that's the type of person that can be 2 steps ahead, is someone who doesn't have an insecure attachment, who knows what the relationship is, the healthy boundaries of it. Unfortunately, none of these 3 dudes that are circling around her seem to have that.
I actually think that maybe like a detached, I don't know that I could see a detached or avoidant person being okay with that too, because it would, as long as they know that that's their attachment style, because you have to let the person dance. Being someone who's securely attached to me seems like they would be like trying to pull them in, always trying to pull them back.
Or might be so firm in their boundaries, they're like, listen, at this point, if this continues happening, I'm walking away.
Yeah.
Because
they don't have a lot of room for gray, which is where I think of someone in that mental health state would have to be.
But avoidance desperately want the connection, but then they'll push the person away when the person tries to get it. So it might get in the way. And who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you do kind of need to be a level of fucked up.
I don't think
in a good way. In a good way.
That's fucked up.
No, in a good way. I mean, avoidant attachments aren't healthy. They're very common, but they're not considered a healthy attachment. That's why it's called avoidant or insecure attachment. So I mean, like, fucked up in the normal kind of way. Like, if you're just all healthy all the time, don't have any experience with any of those.
I don't think that someone with a healthy attachment would. I think, again, you'd have a white Josh and who has a very healthy
and another
attachment.
White Josh.
And a white Josh and Rebecca. Like, it should work on paper, but I'm like, I think somebody who attaches so securely to someone you would create that in them. You would create an insecure attachment. You would be their insecure attachment. And I'm like, what?
That is true. You would be their insecure attachment. Like, people who have secure attachments tend to attract people with secure attachments also.
Right.
So people with insecure tend to attract insecure.
Right.
But we also have a 50% divorce rate. So I don't know what's working.
Yeah, because I feel like White Josh says that a lot. He's like, I don't know why all of my friends who he is securely attached to, like, White Josh doesn't really fight with his friends. Like, he knows where he stands with pretty much everyone. And, well, even with Daryl, he knows where he stands. He's just not willing to move from his stance on marriage.
Why he doesn't fight?
Yeah. Well, and he always says, like, why are all of my friends in love with Rebecca Bunch? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Because he, I think, has, the only one without rose-colored glasses when it comes to...
Right. Well, he's not trying to fulfill the needs of those attachments. Because, like, we attach to people even if we know they're wrong for us, and that's the insecure attachment. It's what they're feeding you, and we typically attach to them because they won't give a certain thing when we need it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like that's why people with insecure attachments go for people with insecure attachments, is because they're replaying the insecure attachment. So I think it totally makes sense where he's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I've never come around to you. I don't get it, because he doesn't have that instinct to like get that. So he's like, this feels wrong. Like, he probably doesn't feel good when he's with her because he's healthy.
Yeah.
And so it's just fascinating. But like, everyone just does it. But yeah, he's a very wise man. He's just there.
Underrated. Love you, White Josh.
Underrated. Oh God. Okay. So, well, shit.
Yeah.
Let's. What else in episode 3?
So she
season 3.
starts having her affair with Nathaniel, who has a girlfriend.
Who is just so good looking.
I love the girlfriend.
He's like 6'8". Nope, we found out he was 6'2" at normal height. He just looks extremely tall.
Yeah, I think Rebecca must be like 5'2".
Oh, and I like the girlfriend.
Yeah, I thought she was a good girlfriend for Nathaniel, but I also see why that relationship might not work.
Because it was going to play out his parents. Was
Yeah.
that it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last thing he wanted. Oh, and Nathaniel and his daddy issues. Come to mama.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness.
What?
I don't know. Just come to mama. I'll take care of you.
I was like, what?
Come to mama. There's my insecure attachment. I'll make you better. And then I'll hate you. Love you.
That was also my avoidant. I'm like, no.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Very.
It's like, please, no, you need to fix that yourself.
Whoa. Can we just take a moment? How we truly played out in that. I was like, yeah, no, I'll make you feel better, then I'll resent you for it. And then you,
No.
like, no,
like,
don't.
call me in 5 years, yeah. When you figure that shit out, then you can come back. But no, I don't have time for your...
I'm like, I'll talk my mommy issues, you talk your daddy issues, we can just smash our issues together and then get really into each other and then angry. No? Not fun?
No, not at all.
Weird.
Not at all fun.
Weird.
I was like, I could just rewatch season 4 of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and forget all of this happened.
Yeah, that's kind of, I really thought I made more progress in therapy. And
I made
that
no progress.
Sort of came out.
Hey, we've made great progress. Both of us recognize what we just said.
You know, awareness is the first thing.
I think like one thing I have learned through podcasting is that, oh my God, I am more textbook. I love, this will come out again in season 4 when, actually maybe it is season 3 when everyone is, there's a song, it's in season 4, when she's in jail and everyone is, there's a song in like, I think it's the first episode where she's like, she goes to jail.
Yeah, we need to cover that part.
Yeah,
which
never mind. I'll tell the story in season 4.
Oh.
Episode for season 4.
But she's in jail in this season.
Yeah, so Trent comes back.
We forgot to mention.
Trent comes back, my beloved Trent, who hilariously sings the theme song from season 2, like, I'm just a girl in love. But
I can't be held responsible for my actions.
yes. But he sings it, and then it really sinks in to me that, like, I love the counterpoint that is Trent, because he does all the same ridiculous actions.
She's not as cute.
Oh, yeah, and I'm like, oh my God. And then it comes out, it's kind of hitting the nail over the head in season 4 where she says, I'm privileged. And I'm like, yeah, being a woman is sometimes a privilege, because Trent would not be seen the same way under the law that Rebecca is, who's just like cute and like, you know.
Her privilege comes out, her privilege, wealth, her socioeconomic status, her race, her gender, all that plays out with the prison piece, because it's like, okay.
Yeah.
You have a defense. You have a clear defense that would probably work.
And given the events that have placed Trent in your life, there's some culpability there. There's some things that Rebecca can repent or, you know, should seek penance for. I don't know if that is using the justice system and taxpayer dollars to do it is the correct choice, but
she is costing everyone money.
Everyone.
For her to feel better and be punished for what she's done. And she did need to pay some penance.
Yeah.
Pay penance? PayPal penance.
PayPal? Do you pay penance or do you do... Is it penance in action or is it...
It is an
Can you consult your 12 years of Catholic school and just...
give penance?
Give penance.
Giving. She needs to give penance for her actions. She does. She has an apology tour. She needs to do it all, and she needs to make clear-cut action to not do the same things.
Yeah.
But
the ridiculousness that is going to jail and...
Going to prison.
Yeah.
And then being, of course, let out after how long? Not that long.
Not that long. She's sentenced to 6 weeks, but I'm pretty sure she doesn't do 6 weeks.
And I mean, because she pushed someone. Was it Trent she pushed off?
She pushed Trent off of a roof, which was tragic, and I was so afraid that he was going to die.
Was it on... She physically, or was it by accident?
No, she did it on purpose.
Okay.
Trent shows up behind Nathaniel at a rooftop party with a knife. And so she really is acting in his defense.
Yeah. That's imminent danger.
Yeah.
She has a defense, plus her BPD. Oh,
well,
she has
I don't know
BPD
that that's
yet.
I don't know that that's connected. She's just saving his life.
What?
What does the BPD have to do with her saving a life?
Oh, well, you could throw that on as another defense, like just the impulse, like as a mental health insanity plea, if you needed it.
Oh, I was like, I don't know that would be helpful.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess. Well, she wasn't even diagnosed.
I'm not a trial lawyer.
Well, I'm not either. I guess I would want to have several different defenses in my pocket, and her impulse. I mean, then it may have landed her in a psychiatric hospital instead, which may not.
Which seems like it would have been worse.
Yeah.
Because that diagnosis would have prevented her from doing probably more than her fake jail sentence that is expunged.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll talk about it in season 4.
Yeah. I mean, lots of privilege. She's really shitting out privilege in this. But I do love that she gets involved in the prison theater.
It's season 4. We're still in season 3.
Season 4?
Yeah.
Wait, so how long is she in prison at the end of season 3?
She's at trial at the end of season 3.
Oh, fuck me. Oops. Sorry, guys.
It's fine. We'll just cut this.
Oh, this whole time I thought we skipped like the entire prison thing, and we actually didn't.
No. We're still Trent's just died. What is her? Oh shoot! What's the friends? Valencia is in a relationship with a woman. Mm-hmm. She started a business.
Love that.
She's a busy businesswoman.
She's a busy businesswoman. I like
party
her with
planner.
Women. I like Valencia better with women.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about. Granted, I've only seen her with Josh, but
she seems more at ease with her partner.
With a woman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because her partner does push back, which Josh never did. And I was like, good for you. I forget their names. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then the one character, now I'm forgetting her name, who's,
Heather?
Heather and what's the
Rebecca.
guy?
This baby, Rebecca, right?
Yeah, Rebecca. How stupid. Sorry if your name's Rebecca. I'm sorry.
Okay,
if anyone out there's name's Rebecca, I apologize.
There's a baby. She gives some eggs. Okay.
Yeah, she's the egg mother to Daryl's child.
Mm-hmm. What else happens in the season? I'm looking. Oh, Nathan. She gets very mad at Nathan then. There is an episode, Nathan is irrelevant. Oh, God. That is the last episode. I forgot there were only 13 episodes in this. Only.
And Hector and Heather are together. And I love that relationship. I think that's a good relationship. Heather does a lot of growing up in this season. She, stops her 10-year quest for a psych degree or whatever, however long it's been.
Yeah.
And
lifelong student.
Yeah, and she becomes like a manager or regional at home base, which is so good for her.
Growing.
Everyone's growing up a little bit.
So season 3 starts real dark. We figure out the reasons behind Rebecca's actions. We find out more about her past and her issues. There's dream ghosts. We're doing it. And then everyone is starting to grow up in their own way. Paula is sort of becoming a little less codependent. Mm-hmm. She's going to law school.
Right.
Everyone is growing up at the same time, which is so fascinating because as much as Rebecca can kind of like trash everything around her, she also is a big reason for growth in a lot of them. And Josh, mm-hmm. who can't sit alone with his own thoughts, is starting to go to therapy too. Mm-hmm. And that's really funny to see.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Bless you. Gesundheit.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, it's very cool. And Nathaniel, I don't know. Nathaniel's not really growing yet. His growth tends to come.
And he's the newest character, so yeah. He's not growing much. He's still deep in his daddy issues.
Hot. Steeping in sexy daddy issues. Just.
Okay. I'm like, nope.
Sexy.
I don't like blondes. It's a thing.
I don't usually either. I don't know why I'm so into him. I really am not into.
I think it's
blonde
because he
characters.
sings and he's like really into Harry Potter and stuff, and I like that. I like nerds, but I don't like blondes.
Yeah, he just. I mean, except for
Unless a Viking
Skarsgård.
scenario. Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
Like a
he's got that
Skarsgård.
Scandi look. Yep.
I think it's a little Scandi to me, and he's just kind of
Yeah, but you regular blondes out there, no go.
no, he's smart as a whip. I think like, and he's just so smart. Like he's definitely Rachel's intellectual equal. I mean, I don't have anything else for season 3. I think we.
No, I do want to just shout out my favorite song. I love the childbirth song. I think it's perfect. I think it's so funny.
Oh God!
And the shit that they don't tell you about having a kid. And I like that they touched on the
miracle
postpartum for a
birth.
second. Yeah, I was like, oh.
Oh my
Loved
God!
it.
I
Loved
that.
it.
I'm trying to think of. Oh yeah, Just a Boy in Love.
Yeah. Oh, Trent.
Um,
I like that they show how depression looks for Rebecca.
fit hot guys have problems too.
When he's a stripper, Josh is a stripper and he doesn't know it. I'm like, or like a go-go dancer, but a stripper.
First penis I saw. I forgot about Paula going back to her hometown.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yes. There's some great music. There's some great music in all of this. Okay. Well, guys, thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, guys, if you're so into season 3, please be watching season 4. Get ready for that convo because it's gonna be fire.
Get ready for us to finish the best depiction of mental illness, the most honest, most feminist depiction of mental illness ever.
It's just great storytelling. Season 4, I remember when I finished it earlier this year, I think it's like one of the only Facebook posts I posted because I don't enjoy Facebook. But I was like, if you haven't seen season 4 of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, you need to watch it. It is fantastic. It's just a fantastic period to the end of the sentences that are our lead characters. And
satisfying as fuck.
yeah.
Feminist
Imperfect as fuck.
Perfect as fuck.
Why is it imperfect?
Imperfectly perfect as fuck.
Imperfectly perfect.
And we don't even talk about whether or not she's a strong female lead. There's a reason, because she is in all of these. We don't even, I don't even think we covered it in the last episode. It doesn't matter. Because if you don't think she's a strong female lead, you need to go listen to another podcast. But continue also listening to our podcast. Okay. You can find us on Instagram at StrongFemalePod.
Yep. And tweet at us. Tell us what you thought about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend Season 3 on Twitter. We're at SFL_Chicago.
And Brazil, we hear you. If you want to, have us there, what you need to do is set up a petition.
Or get your friends to listen. Let's get that list. We loved seeing them pop up on our little map of where people are listening. So
God.
Get your friends to listen.
Oh my God. Get enough of a listening base there where we have a reason to go to Brazil and there will be more than 2 people in the audience. Or maybe we can even just go to a coffee shop or something and make it small. But bring us to Brazil. My brother was born there, Sao Paulo, for life. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. See you guys in season 4.
All right. Bye.
Bye.